Ready? Okay, folks, sorry about that. So, where were we? Oh, yes. So we were talking about how basically I'm doing this because this message because some people don't understand. You see, they think that Christianity is supposed to be a bed of roses and like Christians are supposed to have a problem-free life, but can I let you in on the little secret? That's prosperity doctrine. That's not Christian doctrine. Jesus said, take heart in this life, you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world.
Like Joel Osteen?
Yes. And plenty of others. And see, it's not that,
I'm sorry, I sort of had to.
No, it's okay. You just echoed what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But like, I lost my train of thought here, folks. Forgive me, that happens to me sometimes.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was talking about, oh yeah, Jesus said, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. You see, it's not that God is a crutch to us or that we have problems. It's just that when we go through troubles, we know we don't have to go through it alone, because Jesus said He is with us always to the end of the age. Matthew 28 verses 18 through 20. And so what are the ramifications basically for how we can be like a soldier? Well, in Deuteronomy 20 there were three groups of people that he talked about. Those who just got a new home or vineyard, so they could leave being exempt so they could enjoy it. Those who were engaged and had yet to marry the ones they love, or who were newlyweds, so they could marry them and enjoy being with them for a little while. And the ones who were perpetually faint-hearted and fearful, in order to keep that from becoming contagious among others. Because as you can see, when the spies were sent to look at the land, the whole reason Israel didn't get the land is because Joshua and Caleb were the only ones willing to step out in faith. Everyone else was too busy looking at the size of the people instead of God. And we're really not that much different. We look at the size of our problems, or the authority of the person in front of us who's being intimidating,
or your past,
and we forget how much more powerful and bigger God is than all of that.
There's a series that Gateway 7's done. Gateway antidote is God is greater in your past.
Is it on tape?
It's on the website.
On website, I mean. Okay, go to gateway.com, and I'm sure y'all will find that an enjoyable listen.
Yeah.
Because I've enjoyed some of the sermons from his church as
well.
Sorry,
I feel a little bit.
Yeah, we have a little trouble with the camera falling, but I guess the camera wanted to kiss the footrest. Anyways, so I would liken those who just got a new home or vineyard to us. See, sometimes we can hold on a little bit too tightly to our possessions. And some of it, I don't blame you or myself, because it's easy to do, especially when those possessions have sentimental value to us. like, if it's something if it's a piece of art that maybe your grandpa or your father painted before they passed away and they gave it to you as an inheritance, of course you're going to treasure that. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes our possessions have our heart instead of us having our possessions and our money, and that should not be. That's why Jesus said you can't love both God and money. More appropriately, you can't be in love with both. You have to choose. Just as no one can have two masters, you have to choose which one you will serve. And Jesus talked about storing up your treasures in heaven. In Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 to 21, he tells us to store our treasures in heaven. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So, how do you store up treasures in heaven? Easy. You do it by giving of yourself, by serving the Lord. That's how you store up treasures in heaven. And in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1, it tells us to throw off every hindrance. And I'm not saying you have to get rid of all your possessions. I know there's some extremely religious groups that believe that. I admire them for following through on their convictions, but I think they're taking where Jesus told the rich young ruler to give up all his possessions out of context. And he was doing it as a test. I'm sure if he'd have been willing to do it, Jesus would have told him, keep his stuff, I just want your heart. Okay, Hebrews 12:1. Therefore, we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. And next, those who were engaged and had yet to marry. The Bible addresses this subject for the Christian. Christians are not told that they can't marry, but they are encouraged that if they can go through life single, then they probably should. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 8 through 9. But I say to the unmarried and to the widows, it is good for them if they remain even as I am. But if they cannot exercise self-control, let them marry. For it is better to marry than to burn with passion. And please note, that does not mean to go marrying the first Tom, Dick, or Harry you meet, or Jane, and be married in 2 weeks. That is how divorce happens, people. Come on. Can we use a little common sense? Ask the Lord to lead you. It's an important decision. Very important decision.
Next video.
Next video.